so years ago for the 14. The name is Campus Family Care, and they come from University of Western Australia. And the business aims to facilitate student study by taking care of students' children. And I present you Rinaldi Akbar.
Yep. Okay, thank you for introduction. Very good morning. I saw Natalie before, and also I would like to say hello to you guys. So I'm representing Australia, so I will take a lot of cases in Australia. So before going deeper, I want to put you in a situation. Just assume you are a student. You have a lot of things to do. You have a lot of assignments, lectures, all those stuff. And at the same time, you have a kid at home, but nobody taking care of your kids because your wife has already the full-time jobs. And that is happening to me. That is my personal experiences. It's quite hard to find the childcare. And the solution is quite simple. Just send your kids to the daycare. But it's not as simple as it is. And then we went to the daycare centers, and the lady at the front desk said to me, we have a long queue. You are queue number 10, so you need to wait another at least 6 months. So at that time, we cannot send our kid to the daycare center. And it's really frustrating for me because I have to study, I have a lot of assignment, I have to give some teaching to students, and also my wife is quite busy with her works. And also I want to give you some fact. There are a lot of studies when you put your kids into the daycare, in the morning actually they get stressed out. The study says they measure the cortisol, the human hormone into the kids. The cortisol level in the morning for the kids when you put your kids in the daycare center is jumped significantly, meaning that we are really stressful and kids prefer to stay at home, to stay with the family, with the parents, or staying with the primary caregiver at home instead of putting them in childcare. And also, how we differentiate ourselves with the others' business. The traditional childcare, so you have to make the pre-arrangement with the childcare if you want to put your kids into the childcare. For example, you need to make arrangement how many days you want to put your kids, for example, 2 days a week or 3 days a week. But we offer something different. So what we offer to the parents and the family is we prefer a non-traditional way. So for example, if you only need 2-hour services, for example, you want to chill out in the evening with your husband, can you help me to looking after our kids in the evening because I have to go? Or for example, I need to go to the Montreal for 2 weeks now. And my wife is working and nobody looking after my kids. My kid is very young, it's only 3 years old. And then I ask somebody to look after my kids in a casual basis, not in a permanent basis, because normally you cannot put your kids in the childcare center on the casual basis. It has to be permanent. And also at the same time, we observe there are so many unemployed moms in our communities, and also there are some students who are seeking for employment. So, and then we come to the idea, I think it's a good idea, why we don't employ them to looking after our kids. They will earn some money, and then our problem also solved. And then this is the social problem we actually address. There are two. The first one is we create employment for the non-working moms, for the students, normally a female student who are seeking for the part-time jobs to look after other kids. And the second one is we provide services, the childcare for everyone, regardless for student, for non-student, for Australian family, non-Australian family. This is simply for everyone. And our value proposition is we offer the convenient, flexible, and highly customized. What we are doing is we send our caregiver to the parent house instead of parents putting their kids into our place. And also, why we are very flexible, because the parents can choose how many hours they want, and also it's very convenient because children like to stay at their house instead of in the daycare facilities. And we also ensure the high quality of services. To be our caregiver, we set certain minimum requirements. I will talk in a bit in the next slide, but we guarantee that all kids will learn something fun, something good with our caregiver. And then I want to who we are. So I'm actually a final year PhD student. I will be completing my study next year, and also I have working with the people with disability for about 3 years now. And also I have the international student to doing some volunteering jobs in order to help them to get transition into their studies. And this is my team members. So she was quite experienced, more than 10 years experience working with the young kids. And also she is working for the social works back in Perth in Western Australia. So this is our target market. So we specifically targeted international students with the kids. And more than 85% of them are our niche market. And also there's a little percentage for the local student, for the Australian student who have a kid. There's instances they are also using our services, but mostly are international students with the kids. This is the market size. According to the recent statistics from the ABS, from the Australia business statistics, there are 2.8 million parents with children under 15 years old. This is huge market, but because we're only focusing on the international student market, international students with the children, there are 1.2 million international students studying in Australia, and only 35,000 of them are having little children. We start small. We're focusing in our campus, in UWA campus. There are 5,000 international students studying in our campus, and about 300 of them are international students with the children. So this is really our niche market. We want to focusing on those 300 students with children. And key resources. We employ non-working moms, students, and normally female students, and also the family of students. And we never running out the numbers of potential caregivers. They are always there. And also, instead of letting them stay at home with the idle time and idle capacity, why we don't employ to be our caregiver? It's quite a good solution for everybody. And also we make some strategic partnership with several institutions. So the PSA, the Postgraduate Student Association, is the international student association that have a lot of branches. So we maintain a close collaboration with the Postgraduate Student Association. And also we also have the UWA Center for Social Impact. It has been 2 years now, and they help students to create social business that have a good impact to the students and the communities around. And the last one is the FBCA. That is the Family Daycare Association. It is the big body of the family daycare in Australia. This is quite highly regulated industry in Australia, and we have to comply with the rules and regulations set by the FDCA. So what we are doing is, the first we recruit normally non-working moms, female students, and also the family of students. And then we train them. We train them to have the basic minimum of the childcare services. So the one who trained them is the more experienced one, who has already experience working with the children. And also we try to connect parents who need services for the childcare, and then also we connect families and the caregivers. And lastly, we deliver our services to normally to the parent place. This is the checklist. So before we send our nanny or caregiver to the parent house, they have to fulfill some requirements. So this is the checklist, and this is very important because we guarantee them to have the highly standard provision of the services. The first one is safety check. So before we send our nanny to the parent house, we do a safety checks. We want to make sure the house is children friendly, but this is the rules that has to be done before we are sending our caregiver. Second one is our caregiver has to possess the first aid and CPR certifications. In Australia, it's quite simple to get the first aid certification. I'm running out of time, and also they have to show the police clearance. They have to be clean from the criminal records, working with children checks, and also they have to bring some learning materials, at least drawing, or storytelling and singing. And the most important one is the public liability insurance. So in order to protect our business, all nannies and caregivers has to have the public liability insurance. So if something bad happens to your kids, we are protected by this public liability insurance. To maintain our customers, we also have a regular contact. So after we deliver our services, normally we make a call to the family, and also next on we will be also disseminating for any news or updates. So our business model is we provide in-call and on-call services, but normally more than 90% are the on-call. So we send our nanny to the parent house, and also we have different line of fee structures. So for example, the fees for the daytime is different with the evening time. Also for the weekend and public holiday is different. So that is the current practices in Australia. We give our caregiver with the slightly higher from the minimum wages. And this is how we look our competitor. We provide a very flexible. We are up there. And in terms of the cost, we are not really that expensive. It's not really that cheap because we offer slightly higher than the minimum wages. But up to now, we are already operating about 6 months now, and parents is quite happy with our services. Instead of the price is not that cheap, but we offer the convenient services for that. Our marketing channel is normally the word of mouth is quite effective because we have a lot of communities, but we want more because we want to involve a lot of more market and audiences. So we already built the prototype now, still a prototype. So it's like the matching up platform. This is Tinder, but we don't want to make Tinder. But a Tinder for the family, Tinder for the parents and the caregiver. And we already made some, had a chat with some IT freelancer and web developer. In terms of the cost, it's not really that expensive now because we can hire some IT from India and Pakistan to develop our platforms. This is our stakeholder support. We have the Facebook page. This is a like that we got. And we also do the crowdfunding using GoFundMe platform, and then we release this one. Why it's only quite small? Because when I had a chat with the IT freelancers, the cost to develop such platform is not that much. It's only about $1,000 for developing a quite simple match-up platform. And this is the financial projection. So we are quite conservative with this. The financials, that is the expected number of customers. So most of the cost will be for the salary for our caregiver, about 80% of the caregiver, and also the insurance costs because we have to make sure all the caregiver has the insurance, and the overhead cost is quite. So if we can scaling up, we can earn quite decent revenue in the next 3 or 5 years. Where you have to run your business, the first one is not huge infrastructure cost because all the services will be delivered at the parent place. And also it is considerably low risk because every services will be protected by the public liability insurance. And our next activities is we want to register to FDCA because at the moment we don't have any legal forms. And also the market is quite huge. We want to expand to other campuses, not only limited to our campus. And develop more training for our caregivers. And the last one is we want to get the new platform done because that is good for expanding our market to other places and campuses.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Questions?
Yes, please.
Can you explain, please, why your target is international students?
Yes. The problem is for international students, we don't get access for the government funding for the childcare rebate and benefits. So we have to pay for the full price. But for the Australian families or the PR, the permanent residents, so they can always send their kids to the traditional childcare and then they will get some rebate from the government up to 70%. So normally Australian families send their kids into the daycare center even though they have to wait for some time. But for international students, it's not the case. For example, I have to pay like $120 per day if I want to put my boy to the daycare center. So our niche market are really international students because Australian families have more options than us.
Okay, but I don't really understand why it is a social problem. I mean, like international students, I used to be one odd. Usually even going to Australia where you have to pay for your studies and so on, they are usually not the population that is kind of having most social travels.
Yeah, actually there are two types of international students. The student who are privately financed and the other one is using the sponsorship from the government. So those groups are quite, it's quite poor because they cannot struggle with their life because the stipend is not that much and the cost of living is quite high in Australia. And we want to target those kind of groups, international students with the sponsors, not the privately financed students. And also we observe there are a lot of family of students and international students who just sitting at home. They are got some trouble to get some part-time jobs, but they have a good patient to look after kids. So we want to employ them instead of just staying at home. Why not we hire them to be our caregiver? It's like for us, it's like a win-win solution. Yeah, we match them.
Thank you.
I have a technical question
Yes,
more
please.
around, you're saying that you want to hire the unemployed moms.
Yes.
So what happens to their children? Do they bring their children into the homes of the other family who have their kids?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. We are normally, there are two types of the professional services. Either we send our caregiver to the parent house or they put their kids into the mom house. But most of our caregivers are the female students. They are still single, so they are quite flexible. And then they can go to the parent house. So about more than 90% of our services, we send our nanny to the parent house, and not much parents, and not really that much when non-working moms go to the other parent house. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought that you were hiring non-working moms.
Yes. Yeah.
So you would assume that they would have kids?
Yeah, assume that they have a kid.
Because then you just said before that you would
Yeah.
take the young ones who don't have kids yet to,
Yeah.
maybe it's.
So I give, this is my personal experience too.
Yeah,
When I went to UK about like 4 months ago, for like 1 month, and then I used services from the non-working mom. She has 2 kids. And then I put my kids into their place. Can you look after my kids? And then I'm quite happy because she saw experiences with giving care to the children. So that is one example where I put my kids to non-working mom. Yeah, yeah, but not that much. That is not that much. Most of the services are we send our caregiver to parent house. Yeah.
With their kids?
No, because they are single female student.
Okay,
Most
so you're
of the-
hiring two kinds of people?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, that was.
Non-working mom and the female single student.
Okay,
And the single female student are the majority of our staff.
okay.
The question,
Yeah, please.
how will you protect your market? I mean,
Yeah.
if a nanny comes to, or if I bring my children to a nanny, or the nanny comes to my house,
Yes.
all right?
Yeah.
And if I'm happy with the kind of service she's providing to my kids, well, what prevents me to contact her directly in the future? And
Yeah. Yeah, that is really good question. Really good question. So why she just make a direct operation with that kind of family? Yeah. So because I have been working for the care services for more than 3 years, so I'm quite familiar with the industry. So I work with the agency for the people with disability, and then I have a same thinking like you. Why I just go to my client and then we just make a direct contact, but that is not the case, because when they sign up to be our caregiver, we will offer them some form, because we will protect her because we subsidize with the insurance, because they have to have the insurance. We make some contract with the caregiver in order to to avoid that kind of situation. They cannot make a direct contact with the clients, and they have to be through us. And another case is if there is something happen, for example, the parents are unhappy with our services, they can only claim to our organization, not directly to the caregiver. And then we will do all the paperwork. But up to now, we don't have any cases like that. But yes, parents cannot make a claim straight to the caregiver. It has to be through our institution, and we will done all the paperwork. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I think the challenge is to ensure that you are essential to the nanny.
Yeah.
Then she will want to go through your platform or your service.
Yeah, yeah. So the reason we want to build the new platform, because we see the demand. The demand is quite growing, not only for our campus. For example, in Perth, there are 4 main campuses, and then there are growing international students with the kids, and then sometimes they need care services for their kids for the casual basis, because we are targeting for the casual services, not the permanent childcare provision.
I see.
Thank you.
Ms. Gary, oui. Well, childcare is a very sensitive issue
Yes.
for parents. I have 2 concerns. First, kids like to have repeat person, the same person taking
Yes.
care of them.
Yes.
Having one person one day, one person the other day
Yeah.
for a small kid is
Yeah.
not that
Yes.
ideal.
Yeah.
So what if parents want to have the same nanny? Is that a promise you can make? If they say, I have a classes every Tuesday in the afternoon and I want the same lady the whole semester, can you promise that?
Yeah, actually they can opt. They can opt to choose those particular nanny.
That can they reserve her and can you promise that it's going to be the same person if parents want that?
Yes. At first, we will ask our nanny about the time availability, how you are available. For example, I'm only available Monday morning.
So you're asking your schedule for a lot of
Yes.
weeks ahead?
In advance. In
Okay.
advance.
Okay.
And also what I did, because I'm doing a caring job for the disability
Mhm.
people, so I have a regular, how to say, not the meeting, regular service. For example, I only take Tuesday afternoon,
Okay.
and I have committed to provide my services every Tuesday afternoon. Yeah,
Okay.
that is regular.
So you have integrate this in your business model that
Yeah.
parents can have the same nanny the whole semester?
Yes,
Okay.
but in some case, student cannot make it up, so we can find some replacement for them. But we will let our members, our families, before at least 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So they get surprised, oh, this is the new guy. Because that's true. My members, my client, really like to have the normal person to taking care of them. They don't like the new people. They just choose, okay, don't come. I just want you.
And what about quality assessment? That's a big job.
Yeah.
I mean, who's in charge of quality assessment, the whole, because it's not just one phone call, I mean, it's a,
Yeah.
in your business model, I see
Yeah.
that's a big, important thing, the
Yeah.
quality assessment.
Yeah.
So who's in charge of this?
My co-team member. So
Okay.
because they are,
The one who's the social worker.
yeah, she's very highly experienced.
Mhm.
And also we also ask our caregiver to take the certification in the childcare services because that is one of the requirements set by the FDCA.
Okay,
Uh,
I think.
yeah, just to
time's up.
guarantee the good services
Okay.
for everybody.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.